Dodge has built some of the most iconic muscle cars in history. The Challenger, the Charger, the Viper. Legends that shook the asphalt and made gearheads weak in the knees. But for every car that roared into showrooms, there were a dozen that never made the cut. Concepts that burned bright in auto shows and then vanished like ghosts. Prototypes that promised revolution and delivered only disappointment. To the engineers, not to us. We never got to drive them. Never got to hear their engines scream. Never got to feel their leather and steel. But we can still dream. Here are 10 rare cars Dodge built but never released, starting with number 10 and counting down to the one that hurts the most. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button. We're digging up the graves of automotive history, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Buckle up! This one's going to sting. Number 10. 2012 Dodge Magnum, the Durango's twin. Let's start with a car that came heartbreakingly close to production. In 2010, Dodge was working on a new Magnum, a wagon. But not your grandpa's grocery getter. This was a muscle wagon, a spiritual successor to the original Magnum that had been discontinued in 2008. The plan was simple. Take the new Jeep Grand Cherokee platform, slap a Dodge badge on it, and give it the kind of power that would make SUV drivers weep with envy. Under the hood, you've got two options. The Pentastar 3.6-liter V6, pumping out 280 horsepower and 353 Newton-meters of torque, or the Big Daddy, a 5.7-liter Hemi V8, delivering 360 horses and 520 Newton-meters of grunt. Both engines featured variable valve timing technology, cutting-edge stuff for 2012. The design was controversial. Early spy shots showed a vehicle that was undeniably Dodge, but also undeniably odd. It was a wagon in an era when crossovers were eating the market alive. The lines were sharp, the stance aggressive, the attitude unmistakably Mopar. But then, something happened. Here's the cruel twist. That 2012 Magnum you never got to buy? It was basically a Durango wearing a different suit. Dodge had everything ready. The platform, the engines, the design. They just pulled the plug. Why? Market research. Dodge determined that Americans didn't want a wagon. They wanted an SUV. And they were right. The Durango sold like hotcakes. But for those of us who remember the original Magnum's V8 rumble, the 2012 version is a ghost that haunts our dreams. Imagine it. A blacked-out wagon with Hemi badges, sliding sideways through a corner, leaving tire smoke and envy in its wake. We could have had that. Instead, we got another SUV. Thanks, Dodge. Number 9. Dodge M80, the retro truck that never was. Time for a confession. Dodge has always been a truck brand at heart. The Ram might be its own thing now, but back in 2002, Dodge owned the pickup game, and they wanted to do something crazy. Enter the Dodge M80. Debuted at the 2002 North American International Auto Show, the M80 was a retro futuristic pickup truck designed to look like the workhorses of the 1930s and 1940s, but with a modern twist. The design was polarizing. Round headlights, a stubby front end, an open cargo bed that screamed adventure louder than a REI catalog. The interior was rugged and durable, meant to echo the toughness of the great outdoors. Under the hood sat a 210 horsepower V6 engine, mated to a 5-speed manual transmission. Not a Hemi, not a beast, but enough to get you wherever you were going and look good doing it. Dodge positioned the M80 as an all-terrain vehicle, the kind of truck you could take off-road and not worry about scratching the paint, because the paint was supposed to get scratched. That was the point. So, why didn't they build it? Timing. The third-generation Ram was released later that year, and it dominated the market. Why invest in a weird retro truck when your flagship was selling millions? The M80 was shelved. It sits in the concept car graveyard, a reminder that even brilliant ideas can be killed by corporate pragmatism. But here's the thing. Today, retro trucks are all the rage. The Ford Maverick, the Hyundai Santa Cruz, Small, quirky, adventurous pickups that appealed to city dwellers with weekend dreams. The M80 was 20 years ahead of its time, and we never got to drive it. Number 8. Dodge Razor, the $14,500 sports car. This one hurts. In 2002, Dodge unveiled the Razor at the North American International Auto Show. It was a compact sports car. 2 seats, rear-wheel drive, turbocharged engine, 6-speed manual transmission. And the starting price? $14,500. Let that sink in. A rear-wheel drive turbocharged sports car for under $15,000. It weighed just 2,500 pounds. The engine was a 2.4-liter turbo, making 250 horsepower. That's 100 horsepower per liter. Impressive numbers for the early 2000s. The Razor was meant to be the Viper's affordable little brother. A car for the masses. A car that could put a smile on your face without putting you in debt. The design was futuristic. Sharp angles, a wedge shape. It looked like something out of a video game, and it was featured in several, making it a legend among gamers even though the real thing never existed. So why didn't Dodge build it? The Viper's second generation had just been released, and its first edition prices were dropping like a stone. A cheap sports car would have cannibalized Viper sales. Not to mention, the market for affordable sports cars was shrinking. The Razor was killed, and we lost something beautiful. Number 7. Dodge Turbocharger Concept, the Gullwing Surprise. Ever heard of the Dodge Turbocharger Concept? Of course not, because it was never sold. But it existed, and it was wild. This prototype, designed in the early 1980s, was a sleek aerodynamic coupe that looked nothing like the boxy production cars of its era. It featured a sharp front end, hidden headlights, and covered rear wheels. Aero tricks borrowed from endurance racers. But here's the showstopper. Gullwing doors. Yes, Gullwing doors on a Dodge. The interior was equally outrageous. The dashboard housed 11 analog gauges stretching from side to side, a configuration that screamed race car rather than commuter. Recaro seats, a roll cage, a 5-speed manual transmission. Under the hood sat a 2.2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, producing 142 horsepower and 217 newton-meters of torque. Modest by today's standard, but impressive for the early 80s. This concept was used as a pace car for the PPG IndyCar World Series and showcased at the Detroit and Chicago auto shows in 1982. It was a star, but it never saw production. The concept remains a one-off, a piece of automotive history that few have ever seen. For the rest of us, we just get to look at pictures and wonder what could have been. Number 6. Dodge Sidewinder, the Viper-powered pickup. This one is pure insanity. In 1997, Dodge brought the Sidewinder to the SEMA convention in Las Vegas. It was a Dodge Dakota convertible, but not just any Dakota. This one had a Viper engine. Yes, a Viper-powered pickup truck. The Sidewinder was a convertible, open-top sports car with a truck bed attached. It was absurd. It was impractical. It was glorious. The idea was simple. Dodge had the Viper engine. They had the Dakota chassis. Why not combine them and create the most ridiculous vehicle ever built? The Sidewinder was a concept car, but it was fully functional. You could drive it. You could race it. You could haul groceries in it, if you were brave enough. So why wasn't it produced? Because it was too niche, too expensive, too impractical for the average buyer. But for a select few, the Sidewinder would have been the ultimate toy. A truck that could outrun most sports cars. A convertible with a bed. A vehicle that defied all logic and reason. And we never got to own one. Number 5. 1997 Dodge Copperhead, the Viper's little brother. Now we're getting into the cars that almost made it. The 1997 Dodge Copperhead was unveiled as a concept, and it looked like a miniature Viper. same aggressive styling, same two-seater roadster layout, same attitude. But under the skin, it was completely different. The Copperhead was powered by a 2.7-liter DOHC V6 borrowed from the second-generation Dodge Intrepid. 0 to 60? Not exactly Viper territory, but that was the point. Dodge wanted to create an affordable sports car, something younger buyers could afford, something that would slot neatly between the Miata and the Corvette. The Copperhead was often called the Viper's younger brother. But where the Viper was a fire-breathing monster, the Copperhead was a more approachable snake. Still dangerous, but less likely to kill you. The problem? Performance. The V6 engine just didn't cut it. The car was underpowered compared to its rivals. It was heavier than expected, and the market for affordable two-seaters was shrinking. Dodge shelved the Copperhead. But here's the tragedy. If they had dropped a Hemi in it, if they had given it the power it deserved, it could have been a legend. Instead, it's a footnote. A concept car that showed promise but never delivered. The Copperhead lives on in video games and car shows, a ghost of what could have been. And we're left to wonder, what if? Number 4. Dodge Hornet GLH Concept. The power rocket that never stung. Now for a car that was briefly sold, but never in the form we wanted. The Dodge Hornet was resurrected in 2023 as a compact crossover based on the Alfa Romeo Tonale. It was affordable. It was practical. It was boring. But Dodge had a plan to fix that. Enter the Hornet GLH concept. GLH stood for Goes Like Hell, a cheeky nod to the Omni GLH of the 1980s, a pocket rocket that punched way above its weight class. The Hornet GLH was supposed to be the hot version. Lowered suspension, aggressive body kit, a proper engine. It was going to be the performance crossover that Dodge fans had been begging for. And then it got killed. The Hornet itself was a sales disaster. In 2025, only 9,365 units were sold, a 54% drop from the previous year. In the fourth quarter of 2025, Dodge sold just 879 Hornets. The reasons? Tariffs. The Hornet was built in Italy, and the 25% import tariff made it economically unviable. Dodge officially ended production in January 2026, citing shifts in the policy environment. Number 3. 1966 Dodge Coronet 426 Wedge. The one-off mystery. Now we're entering the realm of automotive legends. In 1966, Dodge was preparing for the muscle car wars. The 426 Hemi was their weapon of choice, an engine so powerful it needed to be detuned for production cars. But at the same time, Chrysler was discontinuing the 426 Wedge engine. It was old news, obsolete, replaced by the Hemi. And yet, somewhere in a factory, a 1966 Dodge Coronet rolled off the line with a 426 Wedge under the hood. How? Why? Nobody knows for sure. Theories abound. Some say Chrysler built it as a prototype to showcase their readiness for the NASCAR season, a way to prove they could still compete even with the Hemi's rollout delays. Others say it was a special order, a one-off built for a lucky customer. What we know is this: only 3 such vehicles were ever special ordered, and today, only one is known to exist. It's a car that shouldn't exist, an anomaly, an impossible machine. The current owner, Jim Wicker, has spent over 700 hours restoring it to factory specifications. The engine had been blown in a street race decades ago and replaced with a 383 cubic inch big block. The car had been modified, painted purple, and eventually stored away for decades. Jim found it in 2012 and began the long, painstaking process of bringing it back to light. The car was to be unveiled at the 2024 Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals, and we'd finally get to see it. But here's the tragedy. It's a one-off, a prototype, a car that never went into production. The 426 Wedge Coronet is a piece of history, but it's a piece that was never meant to exist. It's a ghost, a phantom, a car that shouldn't be, but is. Number 2. The 1954 Dodge Fire Arrow, the record-breaking showstopper. Now we're getting to the rarest of the rare. The 1954 Dodge Fire Arrow was a concept car built by Carrozzeria Gia, one of the finest coach builders in automotive history. Designed by Luigi Segre and credited to Virgil Exner, head of Chrysler's Advanced Design Department, the Fire Arrow was a masterpiece. But here's the twist. Unlike most concepts, the Fire Arrow was a real car, a fully functional, drivable vehicle. But Fire Arrow 3 wasn't just a show car, it was a record breaker. In 1954, Chrysler invited Betty Skelton, aviatrix, daredevil, and land speed record holder, to drive the car at the newly opened Chelsea Proving Grounds. She drove it to 143.33 miles per hour, in high heels and a dress. It was a land speed record for a female driver. The car was a sensation, a star, a legend. And Dodge never built it. Why? Because concepts were meant to inspire, not to sell. The Fire Arrow was a design exercise, a showcase of what Dodge could do if they had the resources. But the production cars of the 1950s were far more conservative. The Fire Arrow 3 was recently restored and sold at auction for $800,000, a fair price for a one-of-three concept car. But it's a car we never got to drive, a car that existed in a single copy, a ghost that haunts the dreams of collectors and enthusiasts. The Fire Arrow is a masterpiece, a land speed record holder, a piece of history, and we never got to own one. Number 1. The Demon 170 concept, the one that got away. And now, the number 1 spot. The car that hurts the most. The car that was teased, promised, hyped, and never delivered. The Demon 170 concept. You know the Demon, right? The 2018 Dodge Challenger SRT Demon. The car that was built for drag racing. The one with the 840 horsepower supercharged V8. The one that could do wheelies from the factory. That Demon. But Dodge had a crazier idea. The Demon 170 concept was rumored to be even wilder. More power, more torque, more insanity. A car that would have shattered every drag racing record known to man. But it was never built. What if Dodge had built a 1,000 horsepower factory drag car? What if they had pushed the Hemi platform to its absolute limit? What if they had given us the ultimate muscle car? We'll never know. And that's what hurts the most. The Demon 170 concept is the car that got away. The one that was so close, yet so far. The one that would have been the greatest muscle car ever built. Instead, it's a legend, a ghost, a phantom that haunts the dreams of gearheads everywhere. Dodge built it, Dodge teased it, Dodge canceled it, and we never got to drive it. Rest in peace, Demon 170. You would have been glorious. We'll never drive them, never hear their engines, never feel their leather and steel. But we can remember them, and we can wonder, what if? If these cars made your heart ache, if you felt the sting of what could have been, then hit subscribe. We're the channel that digs up the ghosts of automotive history, the cars that got away, the concepts that never made it, and the legends that deserve to be remembered. Subscribe and join us as we explore the world's most incredible cars, both the ones that exist and the ones that don't. Because sometimes, the cars that never made it are the ones that matter most.